evening, our dear viewers, and thank you for joining us tonight, this 14th day of May 2023. We are grateful that you chose to be with us tonight. We don't take it for granted that you're seated there watching Occupy Today on Hope TV, the leading Christian TV. We are so grateful that you chose to be with us tonight, where we will be discussing how to build a sustainable business. And many of you may be wondering, what is this all about? So sit, relax, enjoy, because I'm joined by a wonderful set of people who will be taking us through building a sustainable business, because they have been there, they have done it, and they know these things. So we are grateful that you chose to be with us tonight. So join us and enjoy the show tonight. My name is Sarah Kajuju. I am a growth coach in the area of career, in the area of entrepreneurship, and I am so happy to host you tonight, our dear viewers. So most welcome, and join us in this discussion. We are hoping to hear your questions, we're hoping to hear your comments, and we are hoping to see you seated right there. Don't touch that dial. Be with us tonight, even as we take us through this topic of building sustainable businesses. I don't know whether you have a business or you're planning to have a business. You will need to have a sustainable business. And so sit there and learn. We have a lot in store, and I'm sure that you will take away a lot of knowledge and skills from us tonight. So most welcome. Thank you, guys, for joining us. Brian, I'm glad to host you tonight.
Thank you.
You're looking young. Are you sure you're in business, or you're learning from your father?
I am actually in business.
You're actually in business.
Yeah.
So would you want to introduce yourself? Tell us what you do. Tell us where you've been, what your business does, and, give us a rich, good introduction that will invite us to hear more from you, even as we discuss this amazing topic of building sustainable businesses. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So my name is Brian Kimani. I am an engineer by profession, a teacher.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm also an entrepreneur. So I teach at Crawford International School. The subject that I teach is known as STEAM: Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics. Yeah. So basically, it's robotics. My company also deals with robotics and technology. So it's a company which is around 2 years old right now, but it will actually launch its products at Konza Technopolis. I don't know whether you've heard of it. Yeah. Okay. So we will launch our products at Konza Technopolis, and through the journey, I've actually learned a lot. That's what I can say.
Now you say a journey, and it looks like you've been there many years, Brian. Looking so young.
Yeah.
What do you mean through the journey? How many years has it been? Or just those 2 years?
It's been more than 2 years, because my journey with robotics started way back in 2015. Yeah, so that's when I started now connecting the wires, doing 1, 2, and 3 things. So then it became a passion. Actually, it's because I watched the movie Iron Man. I don't know whether you've watched it.
Well, I'm not a movie person, but for sure I know Iron Man.
Exactly. So after I saw it, I was like, yeah, you know what? I need to build such a thing, So now it became a passion. So actually, when I was in school, in my 3rd year of study, I actually got my first job teaching robotics.
What?
At a school called M-Pesa Foundation Academy.
Yes, I know M-Pesa Foundation in Ruiru, right?
No, it's in Thika.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I actually got my first job teaching robotics over there. So that's when I was like, yeah, I think this can be my niche. And then I started now from there, taught robotics. And then after M-Pesa Foundation Academy, went to an engineering firm known as Nerokas Engineering Solutions. Now that's where the robotic materials are built. So I gathered some knowledge on that. I studied more on that. I taught myself how to build more. And then now, the Konza Innovation Challenge came up. So when it came up, actually, it's a friend of mine who sent me the link, and he was telling me, hey, you do robotics, try and apply for this, see whether it can work out. So I applied for it. I actually didn't have a company then. Yeah, I didn't have a company then. So what happened is I applied for it. We were around 400 applicants. What? Yeah. So I just applied for it. We went through the first stage. Now, the second stage, you were supposed to go and pitch to the judges, something which I had never done before, actually.
Yeah.
So, but what I did, I watched actually episodes of Lion's Den and Shark Tank, now to see now what kind of questions
They ask,
exactly.
So using a business model canvas, you were able to put your business together?
Yes, business model, revenue model.
Yes.
So I actually knew about them. So when we went there and the judges asked about it, I was like, joke's on you, I had already seen this before.
Oh, wow.
So I was actually able to answer them
Yes.
in the right way, and they were like, you know what, this guy can actually do this. Let's give him that, the tender, let him build his innovations in the Konza Technopolis.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you among many, or a few of you among the many
So,
that there were?
yeah, so it was divided into 4 categories. My category was asset management.
Yes.
Now, we were so many, we were like 400 applicants. And then now it was now cropped until we were like, say 10. So on that day, we were competing 10 of us. And actually, these were so God's grace, because we had huge companies which were also competing. But I can say now, since I had actually seen the episodes, I had a little bit of knowledge of how to answer the questions. God came through and actually won the challenge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. And you know, it's amazing that you're talking so easily, and you have done amazing, great things in those 2 years.
Thank you.
And you're speaking to a young person, you who is seated there, you really want to know what to do with your life or to start your business and build a sustainable business. Brian will be speaking to you tonight. I'm hoping that you will keep it right there so that you learn as much as you can from Brian, because he has been there. He's a young person. I'm actually thinking you just checked in out of high school, you know. So yeah, most welcome, Brian.
Thank you.
It's really, really nice having you in this conversation
It's a
tonight.
pleasure.
Yeah. Caro, you have a very beautiful smile.
Thank you.
Yeah. Karibu sana. Would you want to introduce yourself and give it a rich introduction in terms of where you've been, what you're doing, what is your business all about? And yeah, let's get to know you, Caroline.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's awesome to be here and awesome to share my story as well. My name is Caroline Nyamwaya Mwazi, and I have an interesting journey into entrepreneurship. I never thought I would be one. I thought I'd always be a banker, and that was the vision that I had for myself. So I did go into banking after school, and it was very exciting. I wanted to be there. I love the world of money. I love finance, and I grew. I grew in my career, got into corporate banking, which I loved. So when I was coming to finish my master's degree, I actually call myself a proper banker. I have the paper to indicate that I'm an associate of the Chartered Institute of Bankers. But when I was coming to the end of my master's degree, I started feeling restless, because all I'd known up to that point was just banking. And while I was in the bank, they had started a volunteer training program in which I found that I joined for selfish reasons, because part of my role as a corporate relationship manager was to sell the bank's products and services, and I felt that I needed to improve my presentation skills. And so I volunteered to become a volunteer trainer for my own reasons, because I wanted to develop my presentation skills. But what I found as I was training my colleagues on presentation skills over 2 days, I just got really tuned and turned on by watching the transformation. So at the beginning of the program, they would come not knowing how to put together a presentation, like totally nervous and very unstructured in their delivery. But at the end of those 2 days, they'd be able to put together a decent presentation with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion, and deliver it within the time.
Ooh.
So that excited me. I became a very dedicated volunteer trainer. I never canceled, because I found that it fed something in me that now the year that I finished my master's degree, I said, you know what, I want to do this full time. Part of that was meeting a girl that I'd been in school with, and she'd gone into consulting as a trainer as well. And I just sat her down and I asked her a few things. I talked to a training consulting company that had put an advert in the paper for part-time trainers, and I just decided to take the leap. It was really indeed a leap of faith
Whoa.
because I had no prior business experience. And my brothers are in business, but I never thought that I would also be in business myself. But I found I really loved that, and I was looking for a change. At that point, I thought it was a total departure from all things finance. But I found later on in my journey as a consultant that I missed that part. Because remember, I went into it out of love. I think I just needed a short break, and then I went back into it. So in 2007, I set up my consulting company that's called Huru Consult. Freedom and liberty
Yes.
for people and organizations, because I'd been through a journey of transformation from a very shy, withdrawn girl growing up in my career as a corporate banker, and realizing that many people need to just have that unlocked within them
I hear you.
so that they can now be unleashed. So that's where the name Huru comes out of. So by the time I resigned, many people were surprised. But for me, I had sought the Lord. I had taken time and asked him, do I stay or do I go? I'd even started interviewing in other banks, and I'd gotten some offers. But I just felt this is a totally different journey. And how the Lord directed me, he said, whether you stay or go, whatever you do, just do it my way.
Wow.
So there I was, unleashed with two little babies. I look back and I just wonder how I did it, because by then my firstborn was 2007. She was 4,
Whoa.
3 actually. And then my baby was barely a year old.
Yeah.
Now my middle one, I have another one who's smaller.
Yeah.
And so I started Huru Consult. I got together with that training company who had won a huge contract in one of the larger corporates here in Nairobi. And that was my entry into the world of training. It was a soft landing because I didn't have to hustle, I didn't have to market, because I was working with them part-time as I learned the ropes.
Whoa.
So I worked with them for about 2 to 3 years. No, actually more than that, about 5 to 6 years. But at that point, I was also starting to build my own portfolio because I had no prior business experience, but I got, again, by the grace of God, there was a call for applications about a few months later, actually, almost a year later, from 2007, so early 2008, there was a call for applications for the International Labour Organization, the ILO. They were looking for consultants to do a TOT. And they had a list of things, and I said, what? I'll apply. If they don't like it, they'll just say no. But lo and behold, I was one of the consultants that was picked to go for a TOT for an ILO program called Expand Your Business. I think they looked at my strategy background, and they felt that it would be valuable. Exactly.
Yeah.
So this was for an IFC project for growth-oriented women entrepreneurs. So that was my entry into the world of entrepreneurship, which has led to so much. Step at a time. So I've done a lot of work with the International Finance Corporation, and it's really amazing the things that we say when we've got no idea.
I hear you.
Because when I was in high school, one of the things I said is I'm going to work for the World Bank.
Wow.
And I did, and I have.
Yeah.
And right now I'm a partner with them because I grew, I did some TOTs with them. I'm now a master trainer with the International Finance Corporation. I got back into financial training. So I've done that globally. So I've done a lot of work across Africa. I can name the countries, but there are quite a number.
Yes.
I've also trained in Europe. I've trained in Latin America, and online I've trained globally.
Whoa.
So I had no idea when I started.
I hear you.
So it's just been one door opening after another, after another. And here I am now, 16 years on, still at it, much bigger within. I've grown so much as a person, and I'm now at the point where I'm shaking up things in order to prepare for my next level of growth, which really ties into what we're talking about here today, sustainability.
Sustainability.
Because I want my business to be more than me.
Yes.
I want my business to outlast me.
Just hold it there, Carol.
Thank you.
I'm seeing you're excited to get into this beef of the matter tonight, isn't it? And thank you. Very rich introduction. To some extent, I felt like you were introducing me to
Is
some
that
extent.
so? That's
That
interesting.
background from banking into consulting, not knowing where the path will lead to, that was me. Just about the same time you left banking. Imagine.
That's
yeah?
interesting.
And it's interesting how life just shapes up, and by the grace of God, you find yourself moving one road leading to the next and the dots connecting. It's amazing. And of course, we'll be talking much more about that in this show tonight. So our dear viewers, if you haven't been caught as yet, please sit there and be caught and listen some more. Ask questions, engage us, send in your comments via the SMS line 22232. Please send in your SMSs, send in your contribution on Facebook at Hope TV, and we are right here to engage with you. We are hoping that you won't go, you will stay right there. Carol, I hear you now getting into sustainability, and you are so quickly getting in. But even before you do, let me just come to Brian here. This issue of sustainability in business. As a young person, do you even comprehend what sustainability is all about?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Because basically, I have been there.
Yes.
Before starting this company, I had started other businesses. When I was, for example, in high school, I had started, oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Just carry on. You had started.
I had started, let me just, there we are. So I had started other businesses in high school. I was selling things like yogurt, SIM cards. But now,
I love the way you just move on yogurt, SIM cards, like they're the same word.
yeah. So
You're a Nairobi businessman.
yes,
Yes.
you have to find a way of yeah. So basically, what happened is I found out that I would sell my products, but then after I've reached my market, after the people have bought them, then what next? Yeah, what next? So I would find out that I would hit rock bottom, and then now I have to think of another business, and now start another business, and then sell to my market, and that's it. So that's when I actually met someone, and he told me, the problem that you're having is that you're not thinking of a sustainable business. And by sustainable business, he meant when you sell a product, can it outlive the business? Can you build a legacy? If I can give an example of, let's say Safaricom, you buy SIM cards from Safaricom, but the actual product is not the SIM card. The actual product is the airtime, the bundles. So the sustainability is in you buying the bundle. Say they still earn from you each and every day, each and every month.
I hear you.
So if you can build a business whose product can actually build a legacy, a product which can actually outlive you, then that's when you're talking about sustainability. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
You've simplified it. You know, now in consulting, we talk big things. And I'm sure Caroline is about to bring those three big things of ESG, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But now the way you've simplified
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
I mean, to a young person actually watching this, can see how you can build a sustainable business.
Exactly.
So that you're looking at the tomorrow. You're just not looking at eating today and forgetting about it.
Indeed.
There's a tomorrow to it, isn't it?
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Brian. How about you, Caroline? What do you understand by this thing?
I think it's very, very close to what Brian has shared. It's really, yes, we have the big words that we use as consultants, but at the end of the day, sustainability, sustain, to stay longer, you know, to remain. And I think for entrepreneurs, a very important thing, and I speak to entrepreneurs, they're one of my audiences, is how do we get away from, I have to be there, otherwise things will not run, to I can step away and things will still run.
I hear you.
You know, it's like how Elon Musk is now going to leave his company, and he's already appointing a CEO, and we know that it will continue.
It will.
Yeah, whether it is it is actually Tesla or even Twitter, we know they will continue.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's systems, there's structures, there's competent leadership in place. There's a whole team of people, of professionals who will ensure that it does continue.
I hear you.
How many of us who run small and medium-sized businesses can say that?
I know.
You know, for many of us, I am the business.
Yes. If I'm not there, nothing
There's
is
no
happening.
business. The shop is closed.
Uh-huh.
And I know for sustainability, we have to get away from I am everything. And we have to start thinking, how do I make sure this business continues running, even if I'm not there?
Wow.
So,
amazing.
Yeah, so on to the 3 words you're talking about that have been hiding somewhere. Now it's time to put them on the table.
Put them on the table, yes.
Is really to say that globally thinking, the things that ensure sustainability are in 3 key categories.
Yes.
So there's the environment. We have to think not just about my business being sustained, but the entire world remaining and remaining safe and wholesome for everybody. So there's the environment. Then there's the social aspect. And when we talk of social, many times we think about community, we think about outside the business, but social is also about the people in the business.
I hear you.
How are we taking care of them? Are we fair to them? What about the culture and the environment within the organization? How do we relate with our suppliers and other stakeholders? So all that's part of the social. And then the third element is the governance, which is where the structures we're talking about actually come in, the integrity, the transparency, the ensuring that the way the organization is running is actually very correct and will lead to longevity. So those are some of the things that need to be actually thought about. And this can be distilled even to the level of somebody who's dealing with fruits and vegetables.
I know.
Because as a mama mboga, I need to think, if I'm not here, how does my business actually continue?
Yeah.
So you find them asking a neighbor to sell for them or asking an older child to continue that.
Yes.
So it's not something that is really foreign. Is
Wow.
what I'd like
It's
to
actually
emphasize.
not foreign.
It's not.
It's within.
Yes,
Yeah.
but as now business people, we need to start deliberately and intentionally really thinking about it and then putting in place the measures to build towards it.
Yeah, I tell you.
Yes.
Today we have a consultant on the chair.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I know, Carol, you're oozing with a lot of passion for this area of looking at our businesses. And it's amazing just to hear the two of you contribute to it. But what is running through my mind even more is the fact that our business has been given to you. And I'm glad that you guys can appropriate it to the grace of God, that it is God that has given this business to you. And as you talk about the internal matters, taking care of your staff and just seeing how they operate in terms of welfare and their social being is really a big part of it. Taking care of the environment is a big part of it. And these are the things that God has actually commanded for us to take care of, you know. When you talk about occupying today, do it until I come, you know. It is that he has given us gifts. He has left them to us. He has left that business to you. He has left those staff to you. He has left those machines to you. And he's asking of you, what will you do with them? You know. I need you to be accountable and I need you to report back to me.
Exactly. Stewardship.
You know, stewardship, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Real stewardship.
Yeah.
And so moving on, really, I can see another word of sustainability coming in as stewardship.
You're right.
That you have been actually given these areas and you have to take care of them. So in your business then, by the way, what's the name of your business, Brian?
The name of my business is Blockheed Innovate Limited.
Blockheed Innovate Limited.
Yes.
On a day-to-day, what do you do and how has sustainability been taken into your business?
So on a day-to-day basis, basically we build technology products, like for example, building security gadgets which are favorable for the Kenyan market. Because when you look at most security products, you will see that they are quite pricey, and some of them require for you to have internet in order for you to access them. Yeah. So basically what we look at is disruption. How can we bring a security product which even if you don't have internet in your home, you can access it? Yeah. So even for the person who does not have internet, once we install it for you, you can actually access the security product because it's generating its own Wi-Fi and you can see who is there. So supposing I'm the burglar, I come to your house, it will call you via the normal voice call, just like the way I'd call you via the normal voice call. Yeah.
Yes.
So it has a SIM card, so it will call you Once you pick the call and you speak to the person, when in nani unataka nini, you can imagine them hearing a voice through. Yeah, because it has a small speaker.
Yeah.
They will be like, wait, is she around or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically a preventative kind of device, because most of the gadgets that we have right now, you will come and see, you see the damage after it has already been done. So ours tries to prevent the damage before it has been done, and also very affordable.
Yeah.
So on the issue of sustainability, basically we usually borrow a lot from the good book. Yeah, because when we look at, let me give an example of God creating the universe, him creating humans. So he created man, or he created the universe for 6 days and then rested on the 7th. Right now we don't see God coming and making the earth spin so that we can have day and night.
No.
He doesn't sit there with a blowtorch to light up the sun, yeah, so that the sun can be, so he has built a system which is running itself.
Yeah.
He has built a system which runs on principles. So in our company, we usually have this thing known as the BI triangle. We have borrowed it from a book. You know, the triangle is the strongest shape in the universe.
I hear you.
Yeah. So on the bottom, we usually have a mission. Remember, if you don't have a mission, if you don't know where it is that you are headed as a company, there is no way you're going to get there.
I hear you.
We have a mission. So each and every person in our company knows that the mission is to provide convenience in technology. So be it security, be it robotics, yeah, to make an impact, to change lives. Now, that is the base of the triangle. On one end of the triangle, now on the left end, that is leadership. Each and every one of us is a leader in their capacity. So I deal, for example, I may be the CEO. There's another guy who is a CTO. So you are the leader in your field, just like the parable of the master. I mean, the parable of the talents. When the master gives you 1 talent, 2 talents, 3 or 5 talents, what do you do with them? Do you go and hide them, or do you multiply them? That shows leadership in your capacity.
Yeah.
The other side is teamwork. Even God created the universe as a holy trinity. He didn't do it by himself.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, and
the 3 of them were present.
Exactly, the 3 of them were present. And even for us, we are blessed in different ways. Like, for example, for me, if you tell me to hire staff, I'll be terrible at it, because I have a big heart. So you will come and tell me a very sad story, and I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, let's have him. Come, but then you will But then you'll find out that this person cannot actually do the actual task. So basically, I delegate that to someone else.
Yes.
So because we have different capacities, so we work as a team to make sure that the organization is a system that can actually run itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exactly. Amazing. You know, I'm actually still looking at you like that young gentleman, and you're running this organization. And you are looking at your mission, you're looking at your leadership and teamwork, and all the 3 are working together in sync.
Yes.
And for you, right there is sustainability.
That is sustainability.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And of course, I know that there is somebody watching and wondering, how is that sustainability? But because we're about to take a short break, Brian, I believe that when we come back, you will tell us how this means sustainability for you. Because definitely as a leader, or as you have your leaders within the organization and everyone is working towards supporting one another, the teamwork and the mission, you are actually totally understand where you're headed to. There's a lot that could be lost between the 3 and is not very clear. And it means sustainability for you every day, even as you wake up to do your work.
Indeed.
So I'm sure, dear viewers, you're still right there. There's a lot still to uncover in this topic of building sustainable businesses. Some of you may not even have begun, and you're wondering, how will I even think about sustainability, and I haven't begun. But this is where it all begins, because when you hear a few of the things that our dear guests tonight will uncover, even as we go on, you will realize that Rome is not built in a day. You have to start somewhere and head towards a certain direction. But until you begin, you will never be able to learn some of these things that we're talking about. So as we take a break right now, I'm hoping that you won't touch that dial. Keep it right there and allow us to come back and continue, because we have a lot more to unpack. Thank you for being there. Thank you very much.
Reverend Ambrose Nyangao, Senior Pastor of Parkland Baptist Church, inviting us for this amazing thrust in Turkana. We are calling it Multi-Destination Mission. We need missionaries. Many of them will be young people, and these young people need your support. They need resources. And we are asking that many will be able to engage and come on board. We shall have a medical camp. We need medical supplies, and we need your presence in a mighty way. Your prayers will be key. Resources will be key. We want to touch this nation through this county of Turkana, and God will richly bless us as we connect.
First Thessalonians chapter number 5, verse 17. Pray without ceasing, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you.
On Watch and Pray, we pray for you and with you regarding your prayer requests, our nation and the whole world.
There's this one who is saying there's a marriage separation in marriage, but let's pray for the babies and then restore also. Father God Almighty.
Join Mama Eda Adoyo on Watch and Pray every Monday from 7:30 p.m. live on Hope TV, where you look and live.
The Great Commission, as given to us by the Lord Jesus Christ, is the primary mandate of the church. The Word of God declares, how shall they go unless they are sent? I want to encourage all of us, church leaders, bishops, pastors, apostles, prophets, brethren from all walks of life, to join hands together as we support this great initiative so that the gospel can be preached in Turkana. We have a Sunday that has been set apart, and this is May 14th. May 14th at Sitam Valley Road from 3 to 5 p.m. We shall gather, not for anything else, to worship and put our resources together. The Lord bless you as you prayerfully consider to support this great initiative.
A sustainable business on Occupy tonight or today. But tonight, yes, we're here tonight. We're here just to discuss how to build a sustainable business on Occupy today on Hope TV. So please keep it right there, dear viewers, even as we continue discussing it with our guests tonight, who are well equipped and who have been there and are on their road to building sustainable businesses, even as I talk to Caroline. And I want to ask you, Caroline, in your business, Huru Consult, is that what you called it? And I love the way you just said Huru, like you were set free from somewhere. You know, I know that feeling. I know what that feels. But how have you been able to build a sustainable business? What has the road been like? Just in brief, just tell us how you've been able to build your business to be sustainable.
So in the beginning, Carol was everything. I was the admin assistant. I was the one delivering things. I was the one creating the material and delivering it and all the rest of it. I was even the one handling the printing and so on. So some of the things that I've done is to build a team around me. So I have a team, an excellent team. Shout out to the Huru team of associate consultants. We've become friends. We've become a community that exchanges a lot. Not only that, also having strong administrative help. So I have an assistant, and I also have one virtual assistant, and I'm thinking of having one or two others.
Wow.
Why? Because as my business has continued to grow, one of the things I have had to do is to really let go. It used to be a weakness, delegation, but you can't build something if you're holding on to everything. And that is one thing that a lot of entrepreneurs need to deal with. I myself, so much as I'm an enterprise support organization, among other things, because we also work with even corporate organizations, I myself am an SME. So a lot of the issues that entrepreneurs face, we've also faced them. But one thing I learned very early is that I know the solution, right? But then when do you take the medicine? And so I took the medicine a lot more in 2020. So for me, 2020 was a time of stepping back, a time of reflection. When everything was locked down, I didn't lock down. I was still thinking and talking to God and asking Him a number of things. Why aren't things like this? This is the way they were supposed to be by now. And Him also showing me the things I've done right and the things that I need to improve on.
Wow.
And so that's when I started. So 2021, I reconstituted my team and started developing them in terms of the standards, in terms of the expectations, in terms of focusing on the clients and so on.
Wow.
And then other things also was creating the systems and the structures. I'm still working on that, but we've come a ways with that now. And then also redefining what my brand is
Yes.
and what brand experience I'd like my clients to have.
Wow.
Already very happy, but how do we sustain that and how do we bring in more and do more of what we're doing in multiple ways? So that's been an ongoing conversation. So I think the most important thing for sustainability, one, is to have the intention, and then two, to know the steps you need to take to actually make it happen.
And I wonder what those steps
Yes.
are. Would you want to mention
Sure.
some of these steps
Yeah.
and where, especially look at those very, very tiny micro businesses. Where do they even begin?
Exactly.
With the whole list of process where they need to
Exactly.
begin to be sustainable.
Exactly. So I've got a couple of mentors that I've worked with for now nearly 13 years, both of them. One of them, in one of our very early meetings, asked me to write down what my company will look like when I'm done with it. And so already having that mindset
And
that
when are you done with it again?
when it's finished and it can stand and I can leave and it can still run.
Oh, that is when you're done with it.
When I'll
as
be
the-
done with
as-
it,
okay,
you know?
as the founder.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And so I think the most important thing is to have the intention. Number two is to have the vision. Number three is based on the vision to now start mapping out the micro steps you need to take. And I do want to emphasize that they're micro steps, but they have to be taken diligently for you to start moving from step 1 to step 100. And so the most important thing, I think, is to look at leadership. Brian
What
mentioned
Brian
it
said,
already, because who makes the decisions? The founders.
It's the
Yeah?
founders, yeah.
Who decides on whether or not we are hiring in or what caliber of the team we are hiring in? It's the founders.
It's the founders.
Who decides on what we're going to do with this cash that we've received? Are we going to spend it on ourselves or are we going to invest it back in the business?
It's really
And
the founders.
yeah, and if we invest it back in the business, what are we going to do with it? You see, so everything has rises and falls, as John Maxwell mentions. Everything rises and falls on leadership.
I know.
And for me, that's the biggest one. But also sustainability has to do with your marketing mix, the conversation you have around marketing, and then how your business runs, your operations, which leads to your customer experience. And that makes them decide if you're a win or a lose. And then also your financial operations, cash flow. businesses die deaths of cash flow.
I know.
If there's no cash, if there's no fundraising, whether it's organically or through debt
externally.
or equity, is the business really sustainable?
That's true.
And if you want to attract debt and equity, the business itself needs
Has
to be
show
attractive.
cause.
There you
Yes,
go.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there has to be proof, there has to be evidence, which brings us back to leadership, isn't it? And the decisions being made. And then the last one, because there are 4, besides the leadership, I talked of operations, finance, or people.
The people.
The people you hire, how you build them up, the culture you create within your organization. So entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted.
It's not.
But if you know what to do, which brings me to education, going to school, doing the courses, going to YouTube, learning what you need to learn, you'll go far faster.
That's true.
You'll go far faster. And the main thing is not having knowledge for the head, but implementing
I hear
the
you.
things you're learning. So
Wow.
that implementation plan is very important.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. Wow. I tell you. Let me tell you, you know, I'm looking at businesses and the things that one needs to do to actually see to it that it's like a baby, actually. I'm thinking, you know, without the right food for this baby, they'll suffer kwashiorkor, they'll suffer some other diseases that you don't even know
And they
what
can
it
die.
is like. And they can die. It's the same thing for a business.
Yeah.
Giving it the right temperature, the right food, the right this, the right the other, in terms of the things that you have just mentioned, the people, the leadership and the cash, the finances and everything else that goes with it. And this is what we are talking about, dear viewers, in terms of building a sustainable business. I hope you're really there. Please send in your questions, send in your comments. We are here to hear from you and to interact with you tonight. We just need to hear from you and hear whether there is something that you're taking away from this discussion tonight, because this is why we are here. Brian, tell me, are there challenges in the course of building a sustainable business for you? Have you encountered any challenges? And if so, what are these and how have you been able to overcome them?
Okay. Yes, there are a lot of challenges. And one of them is, just as she has said, it's known as the founder syndrome. Yeah, so the founder syndrome is where you are the business and the business is you. But before we get to that, one of the problems that we have, especially as youth, we usually call the microwave generation.
Yes.
Meaning that we want to start now and get successful tomorrow. So I was actually also in that loop.
Oh.
Exactly.
You look like you're very patient.
Experience. So what happened is we usually see that a person has started a business, it has succeeded. Why don't we start the same business? The so-called Me Too business.
I know.
Or I saw something that someone said and I could start it and it could make money. Before we even start, actually before you even register a company, before you even start going to your clients, I usually advise, can you do customer discovery? Because that is one challenge that we usually have, customer discovery.
Discovery.
By customer discovery, I mean you might be selling yogurt. Yeah, for example, there is, you have Brian's yogurt and there are all the other brands of yogurt. When you go to the client will ask you, why should I buy yours and not buy theirs? Yeah? Meaning, customer discovery, you should find the problem that is existing before you even build a product. I can give an example. There's actually a company that I know, I won't mention the name. They were building soft drinks. So what they were doing is that they were going around social places giving out free soft drinks. And they used to ask the clients, would you buy this over, say, Pick and Peel? Would you buy it over Red Bull? Would you buy it over... And the client, yeah, definitely. I mean, when you give someone a free drink, what do you expect them to say?
Of course, they will please you and tell you, yes.
Exactly, exactly. So they went with the data. They invested over $5 million to build the factory, only to find out that actually almost 90% of the market is not interested in their product. So I usually tell people, when you're doing customer discovery, do something known as the mom test. Yeah, the mom test. If your son can get the actual honest opinion from you about his business, he can get that opinion, the honest opinion from clients. Because basically, when you go and tell your mom, hey, mom, I have a business, So the mom will be like, protect my son's ego mode or protect my daughter's ego mode. So they won't tell you the truth. So you tell them, I want to start a business. It's an online business to sell blah, blah, 1, 2, 3. You're like, wow, that's a good idea. Basically, that's what as parents we will do. But if you can tell your parents, instead of telling them, I have a business, try and ask them indirectly. For example, if my mom likes cooking, I will ask her, so mom, tell me, what kind of dishes do you like to cook? She tells me I like maybe to cook chapati.
Githeri.
Or no,
Try
githeri.
githeri.
Exactly. I like to cook githeri. And I'll be like, okay, so where do you buy your spices? Do you get them? And then she tells me, yeah, I can go get them in the market, but it's a tedious process. So within that kind of reply, you've not told her the business idea which you want to start, but you're trying to find out if she has a problem in that area. And
Yes.
based on the report she gives you back, you know whether to go and refine your idea. And after refining your idea, you take it now to the market. The second thing you need to look at, as she said, is the market. Now, when you manufacturing a product as a youth, please don't think that you will go to the market and people will buy it just like that.
I know.
Yeah, you need to go with strategy. There's usually a curve known as crossing the chasm. So it's a curve to show you how to get to the market. Of course, if it's a new product or if it's a product that brings disruption, you first of all start with the so-called early adopters. The early adopters are the people who don't mind spending the money on your product because they have the actual problem.
Yes.
Yeah, just like I give an example of Safaricom. Safaricom came when there was Airtel. Airtel by then was called Yes, right? If I'm not wrong, it was called Yes back in the
called Yes, but
There
was Celtel. Before that, there was Cancel.
I think
It's Cancel that had
it
Yes.
was Yes,
Yes.
and then Cancel.
No, it's
oh.
Cancel
It's
that
alright.
had
Oh,
Yes
Cancel, yeah.
So,
So they came into the market. Celtel
Yes.
had already taken the market.
Yeah.
So what Safaricom did, they came, Celtel, you could find credit worth 2,500, 500 bob. So Safaricom came with the same,
Yes.
2,500. But what Safaricom did, they came with better networks. So you see, it could not reach the market below. It could only deal with the people up there who could deal with 2,500 and credit worth 500.
Yeah.
Now, after that, now people, especially the 0722 guys, by the way, you need to tell Safaricom to,
Usionge mbaya. Don't talk bad now.
they should tell you guys, Safaricom should take you guys for lunch because you are the pioneers.
Oh, at least you're talking well.
Yeah,
Okay.
you are the early adopters. Now, the 0722 guys now recommended to the rest that there is this new network which has better service,
a second billing.
Per second building. Building, yes.
Exactly. And then now, more people came in. Now, Safaricom now crossed that place called the chasm, which is very difficult for a business to cross. It usually takes 3 to 5 years. If it crosses that, now they go to the early majority. The early majority, this is when I remember Michael Joseph said, the one thing that a Kenyan will not be skeptical about spending is 20 shillings. They introduced the Bamba 20, pop.
Yes, and that hit the market.
Yeah, and that's when now people now started buying airtime.
Yes.
Remember, they met Airtel here.
Yes.
So they brought in the Bamba 20. People bought them. A lot of people. Now it has captured almost 90% of the market.
Yes.
Now, and also it brought M-Pesa and everything. But you see now they started from the early adopters.
Yes.
Cross the chasm, the early adopters recommended people, they came to the early majority.
Yes.
So whenever you're starting, before you even start your company, before you even invest anything, do customer discovery.
Yes.
Second of all, know who are your early adopters. Because when you know who your early adopters are, those are the people who will take you to the early majority.
The next level.
When they take you to the early majority, now the late majority will also come in. Because now the late majority, these are the people who see there is, for example, they used to do the minutes, the free minutes, Safaricom to Safaricom. So the person with Airtel could be like, now, I want minutes, but I can't talk to my friends who are in Safaricom. So I have to go to Safaricom in order for me to get the free minutes. Yeah? And then now after you get to the late majority, you go to the laggards. Now the laggards are the people who...
They come later.
Yeah, they will move because they've been forced to.
Yes.
There's M-Pesa, and M-Pesa is only in Safaricom. So how do I transact to my shosho who is in Kisumu? Yeah, so I have to. I just have to buy Safaricom line for me to transact. So you have to take all that into consideration. And what most you don't do is take that into consideration.
hear
You
you.
get to the market, you're very disappointed because you find out that your product is not solving any problem and
Yeah.
people don't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for you particularly, Brian,
Yeah.
in your market, what has been the challenge? And especially with that path of, you know, you're discovering your customer.
Yeah.
You really, really want to know who really is your. What
Yeah.
has been your challenge?
The challenge, first of all, again, was with the customer discovery because I think I was doing it wrong, to be honest, because I thought that now I've come up with a product, people will definitely love it. And then I later came to find out that it was not as I thought. So I had to go back to the drawing board because basically we used to sell our security gadgets at around 10,000, 13,000 or so something. And then we later came to find out that yes, we want to bring convenience, but people are actually not affording our products as we say they are affordable. So now we had to sit down,
Yes.
think around it, say now how do we actually get our business going? So we decided, what if we rent it out?
Oh.
So we come to your house, give it to you, tell me this is this security gadget, we give it to you for free. Yeah, we install it for you for free. All you have to do is to pay around 100 bob per month, 70 bob per month, based on where it is. If it is in a slum, for example, in Mathara, you pay like 50 bob in a month if you can afford it. So we give it to you for free, and then you pay it monthly. So you see, basically, we generate the product, we give it to you, and then you pay a certain amount. Like, for example, the business model of Safaricom, you pay 20 bob airtime. So we had to go back to the drawing board to come up with that model. The other challenge came in building the product.
Yes.
Now, this is where you need to know about something known as the business value chain. You see, in order for you to build the product, you have to ensure that your production cost is as low as possible.
That's true.
So what we used to do is, we used to go to local retailers, we buy the product. So you see, you are selling the product, now when we were selling, you are selling the product at 13,000, you've used 12,500 to make it.
Ooh.
You've not factored in the cost of getting the customer,
Yes.
transportation cost, everything.
Yeah.
So we sat down and we saw, how are we going to go higher up the value chain?
Yes.
Do we manufacture our own electronics? Do we design our own electronics? Because we used to buy ready-made. So now we decided, now let us do manufacturing. So this is where we got machines like the 3D printers, laser cutter. So you actually manufacture. You actually buy a cardboard for 120 shillings, and it can give you like 10 or something machines.
Wow.
So you see, your production cost has gone from 12,500 to around 6,000. Yeah. So if you can figure out in your business, how do I go higher up the value chain? And that's why companies like companies like Del Monte, they own large tracts of land. Why do you think that is so? Because they understand the importance of value chain. If we can plant our own our own mangoes, our own oranges, and manufacture them in our plant,
Yes.
we will bring the products in the retail store at market value.
I hear you.
Yeah, and that's why even China are actually beating us,
I know.
because they understand value chain.
Value chain.
They understand value chain. China Square, you will go and find a shoe at 1,200, which when you go to another retail store, you get it at 3,000. Understand value chain. That is
Yes.
very important. So I think those are the challenges which we faced. And now we had to go back to the drawing board, and now came out a bit stronger.
I hear you.
Again, it's all about education and experience. Knowledge is key. Knowledge is very key. If you sit around people who, for example, what we are doing now, sit around people who understand,
Yes.
and they can guide you on how to do it. Because were it not for people guiding us, we could not have.
You'd have been in the mix and lost somewhere.
Indeed.
But then again, Carol, even as Brian says this, I'm actually imagining there is somebody somewhere who has no idea how to begin this journey of sustainability. Where does a small business begin? Where do we begin even building that sustainable business? Here we are, I have a business, it's up and running. I don't even understand what sustainability is all about. How do we begin this journey?
I just want to piggyback on what Brian has just mentioned about accessing knowledge through people. I think a lot of entrepreneurs are by themselves in a bubble, and they're too busy, quote unquote, to get out of that bubble and
Yes.
engage with other people.
Yeah.
When you've been in forums where there are entrepreneurs, no problem is unsolvable.
I know.
And the level of knowledge exchange that's there, like now I'm learning so much from Brian,
Yes.
is phenomenal. And so what I think, number one, being intentional. I mentioned that already before, that I need to surround myself with people who know.
Yes.
I think another very important one, and this touches on the governance, is don't go it alone. So it's really encouraged to have a co-founder, but even if you don't have one right now, to put together a very simple advisory board. Because accountability is important. If you're everything, who will make you do anything?
I know.
But if you know that you need to meet with your advisory board at the end of the quarter and show them numbers, there's that impetus that I don't want to report that I didn't do anything, that I sat on my hands and nothing happened. So that accountability chain, important. Another one I really want to talk about is mentorship. To get good mentors, patient people who can sit with you. To use a word I use, you can leak, you know, to show all your not very pretty parts, you know,
Yes.
the parts that you hold together
I know.
for other people,
Yeah.
but you can just tell them this is what it is.
Yes.
And then they can, without judgment, speak to you.
That's true.
But I think the biggest thing is for you to also decide to go the path. It's not an easy path,
It's not an
but
easy
it's goable
Yes.
to make up a word. But you have to go it. And as you go, you learn. There's education, there's experience, and soon you become the person that other people now come
to as
pass.
a mentor.
Because the testimony, the journey you've been, they can see it, and they've seen the fruits. Especially those who saw you from the early days and suddenly you took off.
I know.
And by the way, it doesn't take long.
It doesn't.
Once you start putting in place the right systems and structures, engaging with your market the right way, speaking to the right mentors, getting the education you need, and as you begin implementing, I think within 2 years, your business can be in a totally different
Why
space.
do I hear you say that there is a lot of support out here?
There
Sounds
is.
like it in
There
terms
is.
of building a sustainable business.
There is.
You will get the support
Oh,
you
there's-
need.
there's
So
a
where's the
lot.
support? For you, where has the support been?
Yes.
Who's
Because you
that
know a
person,
lot,
or
Brian,
where
as
is
well.
this
No?
Brian,
Yeah.
where have you gotten that support?
Well, the support mainly, I usually call it the University of YouTube.
Whoa.
The University of YouTube. So when it comes to things like
Is that why your eyes are red? Because you've been YouTubing all day?
all the time, yeah. So there is this one speaker who I really love. He's South African. His name is Vusi Tembekwayo.
I knew you were going to say that when you said South African. Yes.
Exactly, Vusi Tembekwayo.
Yes.
That guy gives you, you get goosebumps when you listen to him because you're like, this is so true.
I
This is so true. This is what I've been going through.
Yes.
And he even tells you now how he has gone through it and how to get out of it. The other support has been books. Because things like, for example, the BI triangles and everything, I've gotten them from Kiyosaki. You know?
Tell you.
Yeah, Rich Dad's Guide to Investment. What is it called? The quadrant.
The cash flow quadrant.
flow
Yeah,
quadrant.
ESBI.
The cash flow
Yes.
quadrant.
Yeah.
So when you read and when you listen to people who have been there before, you actually don't have to have a mentor who is right there with you. When you have the internet,
Isn't that mentorship even indirectly? So,
yes,
isn't it?
that is mentorship.
Yeah,
That
even
is-
as we come now to just the
Yeah.
last bit of this,
Yeah.
your closing remarks in a very, yes.
Okay.
Imagine our time has run out.
Already.
This goes very fast. Caroline, you
Yes.
can go fast. Yes,
Decide and just start taking action.
lovely.
Don't wait for perfection. You will perfect it as you go.
I love it.
And the last thing I would say is be kind to yourself.
Be kind.
Maybe you were lazy or you didn't act as fast. Regret will take you nowhere.
I hear you.
Neither will beating yourself up. Forgive yourself and then go and sin no more. Start doing things the right way.
I hear you.
As you do it every day, even by the end of the year, you'll be in a different place.
Wow.
But
You will
begin,
be.
first of all, by thinking sustainable.
Wow. Thinking sustainable. has been about sustainability. Brian,
Yeah.
one last word.
So my word will be download your purpose from your maker.
Wow.
He told Jeremiah, I knew you right before you were born. There's a reason why you were born the time you were born. Talk to him. Let him give you the real reason why you were born. And when he gives you the wisdom, nothing will come in your way.
I love it.
Yeah.
My goodness, it has been a very beautiful time with you guys, and I'm grateful that you came to this show tonight. Dear viewers, I'm hoping, like I have been challenged myself, to go and do more, to go and get into a sustainability path. You will do the same. And it has been real, it has been great. I'm hoping that you will be here again next Sunday, same time, same place. Please don't go away. Be with us again next Sunday. I'm grateful to you, Brian. I'm grateful to you, Carol.
Pleasure.
And all our dear viewers. For now, it is Kwaheri. Thank you very much for being with us.
The Great Commission, as given to us by the Lord Jesus Christ, is the primary mandate of the church. The Word of God declares, how shall they go unless they are sent? I want to encourage all of us, church leaders, bishops, pastors, apostles, prophets, brethren from all walks of life, to join hands together as we support this great initiative so that the gospel can be preached in Turkana. We have a Sunday that has been set apart, and this is May 14th. May 14th at Sitam Valley Road from 3 to 5 p.m. We shall gather, not for anything else, to worship and put our resources together. The Lord bless you as you prayerfully consider to support this great initiative.